Apache's call sign is ugly. It matches his squat, dirty appearance, as well as the implications of the obstacle. Jones, 53, has a more experienced view than most. The son of a soldier, Jones served as a soldier in Northern Ireland before joining the Army Air Force, where he spent 3 years as a ground crew member before training to become a pilot. After training in fixed-wing Chipmunk aircraft and Lakes helicopters, he was only accepted into the 3rd British Apache pilot intake group. The aircraft entered service in 2005. Jones flew with distinction in Afghanistan. Jones compiled his experiences in Apache at war, flying the world's deadliest attack helicopter in combat, a memoir compiled from more than 700,000 words of diaries and recollections. These include the training of Prince Harry, the most famous British Apache pilot of his time. After going to Afghanistan as an infantryman in 2008, the Duke trained as a pilot and returned in 2012 when he was 27 as an Apache gunner. I remember the first time Harry and I met at a press conference. As he informed me, Jones says from his home in Aberdeenshire, where he now flies commercial helicopters. I was confused, thinking it was third in line to the throne. Then I thought, actually, he's just another student. He gets no favors from me. If anything, he needs to work harder. Jones won't go into detail about the party prince's extracurricular activities, except that he has always been a professional. What happens in camp stays in camp, he says. But sometimes we'd go to Andover and we just want a few quiet beers. But the word must have spread that he was in the bar. And dozens of single women would turn up and you'd hear Harry say, "Oh, there we are. Going. Again." There is absolutely zero tolerance for alcohol and flying. There is no gray area, he adds. But he was a young lad. When he finished training, the famous Las Vegas happened. In August 2012, pictures emerged of the prince enjoying a wild weekend in Nevada. But since he flew out after intense training, there is no doubt that the prince's time flying with the Apaches was a happy one. In interviews last year surrounding the publication of his memoir Spare, he described his military career as a calling, and that it healed him after the death of his mother. "My military career saved me in many ways. Best wishes," he said in an interview on 60 Minutes to American journalist Anderson Cooper. "It took me out of the British press. I was able to focus on a goal bigger than myself, wearing the same uniform as everyone else, feeling normal for the first time in my life, and finishing the biggest challenge. I once had knit fits with Jones' experience with Prince. I think if Harry is in the military, he might relax a little bit," she says. There was no fear that someone would take pictures and tell the press what they were doing. He was relaxed enough to talk. He didn't open up to me because I was a teacher, a senior sergeant, and he was him. But we had mutual respect / he tended to focus on the smaller things, sometimes at the expense of the bigger picture. He would try to be very selective and specific. The whole world might be burning behind him, but as long as he reached 35 knots, he would be happy. It was about trying to get him out, start relaxing, looking at the fringes. Let's see what's going on and start making the bigger picture. At Apache, you have to be 3 steps ahead. He knew fine details, but sometimes he was perhaps too narrow-minded and focused. But in the end, he did very well. He was a joker, always laughing. Sometimes he commented, and you thought, time and place Harry. He was just a little happy. But there's a right place and a wrong place. The prince was a popular student, Jones adds, especially among fellow students. About 12 pilots per cohort, they're a close-knit bunch. / and Jones is more cautious about the Duke's trajectory of Sussex since he left the military and stepped back from her royal duties, which included her military roles. "I'm disappointed," she says. I feel upset that he's not at the top of the military like he used to be. I'm thankful that I got to meet him and fly with him. I believe he did his part for his country. We can never take that away of him. He passed the course of Apache. He'll always be one of us. However, Jones says he was disappointed Harry told Spare he had killed 25 Taliban fighters.